Yep.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yes, let's jump right into it, man. Robert Kelly, aka R. Kelly, is back in the headlines. Apparently, he's trying to fight back. I want to say Diddy stab. Maybe I should say
You
that
thought
right
of
off the gate.
okay.
Oh, shit.
uh, like his
Yo,
victims probably.
that's a crazy
But
way to
before,
start the show.
I think it's you probably wanted to say something anyway. Before we continue, remember to rate the show by pressing the like button, follow us on our other socials, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. KR, we need to wait at least 3 minutes to go off the
Diddy,
rails because
yeah, this is not off the rails. He's still a free man, so he's fighting back though. Anyway, hey, R. Kelly is one of the infamous names in the music industry who've been in legal battles for a long time now. He's locked up, was convicted for whatever it was. Quite crazy story if you break it down. But apparently, they are looking for a loophole to set him free. He's currently serving 30 years for trafficking, and also a 20-year sentence for let's say underage viewing of um,
content.
uncovered kids, and enticing minors. The conviction was because of crimes he did in the 1990s, and according to his attorney right now, they are trying to use a petition to the Supreme Court uh, that basically says that this Protect Act, which was used to convict him, um, shouldn't be used because, well, it was introduced back in 2022 or somewhere around that time, and the crimes that happened in the 90s. So basically, they're trying to use similar reasons to Cosby's appeal to basically get him off. RJ,
Yeah. Um, there is a Latin principle, or at least a legal principle in Latin, and I'm gonna butcher it probably, but it means it's sine puna, sine lege. That's wrongly
Leech.
pronounced. But basically, what it means is you can punish someone if there isn't a rule that allows it, and or at least that if there isn't a law or a rule that says it what you did is punishable, you can't punish someone because there needs to be legal certainty. I need to know, and people in a society need to be able to know that. So they need to be able to know what is legal and what is illegal, what they can do and what they cannot do. Because if you're living in a society where you get detained by the police and then uh, you believe you did nothing wrong, but they invent a new rule based on which they will punish you, then basically you don't have certainty. Then there wouldn't be certainty for any of us living, working, participating in society, that we will be free. So if we keep doing what the law says if we avoid doing what the law says we shouldn't do, that we will continue to be free. In this case, my question is he saying that the rule, so what he did was not punishable then, or
Yeah.
is he referring to the is it an attack on the statute of limitations?
I think it's both. So what they are saying right now is the rule that has been put in place. I think called the Protect Act, which was passed in. Oh, by the way, it was passed in 2003. It 2003, yeah, apparently. It's not intended to be retroactive. So it would be like, for example, let's say selling weed was legal or no one saying it was legal. It's not the same. Selling weed was not punishable at a certain point, or he was not punished for it. He was selling weed in the 90s. He was never caught, and it was revealed that he was selling weed, and then suddenly they arrest him and tell him you gotta sit. Basically, that's how they're trying to argue it. You gotta
Yeah.
sit 20 years because you were selling weed, or you did interviews about you selling weed. Um, and we have a video of you selling on the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm referring to the
So
video
the
of
principle
him.
is actually, I said it incorrectly. It's nulla puna sine lege. So, but neither here nor there.
Yeah,
That is a valid argument, I would say. Now, there can be, so in law, you have general rules and specific rules. So
yeah,
it can be that the specific rule was established in 2003, but it derived from a general rule. Because how it works, KR, is you need to, how it works in law, you need to take the facts and circumstances of an incident or an event. Then you would need to look at the law. What you would need to take the relevant rules, and then look at the various so the all the criteria that should be met in order to speak of, for example, battery. In order to say, okay, this act qualifies as a crime. So you can see it. You might think, oh, we saw it with your boy, the guy who got 20
my
years.
boy.
Yeah, the engineer who got 20
Oh,
years.
Miu.
Miu, yeah. That
By
boy.
the way, that's a story we covered before. I think there are also clips from that. That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
He thought
If I didn't know
he
any
could
better,
use.
I would think I would have thought he was a black man. But 20 years, man. Okay.
He got 20 years. He used the self-defense kind of idea. I don't know what he was defending himself against because, well, he was the only one with a weapon there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it works, right? So oftentimes that's a perfect example. Self-defense. You might think it's self-defense because someone is attacking you and then you attack back. But when you analyze an incident, you will take a law or a rule and then look at the various criteria. So all the criteria need to be met in order to speak of self-defense. And so if everything is met, but if one of the criteria is proportion, and you're not proportionate in your defense, in your self-defense. So I'm just not talking. So I'm talking about self-defense because that's easier to talk about, and I have to pick and choose my words less than what Kels is being accused of. But with but with self-defense, for example, you would need to look. Okay, maybe the person was being attacked. Maybe he had to act that way because there wasn't an alternative. The person couldn't run away, but he punched him one time, the aggressor one time. The aggressor fell. The moment the person fell, the situation changed, and so he could run away. But now, if he decided to mount him with his purple belt jiu-jitsu technique and start throwing elbows, then that's not proportionate anymore. So it doesn't qualify as self-defense. And so the same goes for
There's from it turns from
let's say
self-defense
Kels.
to
Yeah, but for Robert as well right now, what I'm saying is maybe the specific rule for which he was punished or is being punished didn't exist by then, but maybe that same incident qualified as a different, so he would still be punishable but under a different
rule.
law.
Yeah.
And it can be the case because usually when they go in a case, usually you have like the main claim, and then you say if you don't qualify it as this, qualify it as that, and if you don't qualify it as that, qualify it as this. And so yay, let's see.
Yeah,
No?
it's crazy. It's crazy, but the convictions. I mean, what Robert is accused of is crazy. Um, I haven't seen the video myself because I was like, "What the heck is this guy?" The video that was alleged of him um, exposing yellow colored fluid on a minor.
I
That
didn't see
video.
it either.
I
Oh,
haven't seen it.
that was the old
Yeah,
story, man.
but that's the story he's partially been convicted of.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
So
he's
so
been. I mean, after I think he walked for at least 15 years.
yeah,
After that, he was
easily,
walking around
easily
freely.
20 probably even because he was
Probably.
convicted not long ago. So
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I remember I heard those stories when I was very young, and I was like, "What the heck? Yeah, I don't want to. What the heck are people?"
As long as he doesn't use the, as long as he doesn't use the sea urchin defense, because they
See?
say if a sea urchin stings you,
Oh man! Oh
then
man!
urine can take out the sting.
Well, he could use the Drake defense. Teenage
Drake,
Fever. He has a song about it.
does he?
Well, Drake has a
About
song that's
what?
called Teenage Fever.
Oh man, Drake really needs.
Yeah, but all jokes aside. So yeah, the allegations, these what he's been convicted of is crazy. And this is going to be maybe a situation where he might get off because I mean it's going to Supreme Court. So you don't know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna analyze it, what angle they're gonna take. Don't forget that Roe v. Wade went to Supreme Court, and people were quite hopeful about it getting not getting overturned. But the Supreme Court was of the opinion that it's not a federal
Matter.
matter; it's a local government's matter. So
Yeah, because
that's
it's
one thing
still
people keep
called the
saying.
United
State,
States.
yes, yes.
So
So
although it's the USA when they go abroad, by definition, and it is one country, but it's still a country that's formed of, it's formed by 50 states. So each state should have its, not each state has its um its jurisdiction as well to
yeah,
determine, and freedom to determine what it can and cannot do.
yeah, and that's something which is quite funny because people not knowing what really happened is now being used during the election time to get people riled up, and it wasn't totally banned. It's just per state has now to the the responsibility to decide what they're gonna do. But anyway, so bring it back to this case, who knows what they'll choose? Maybe they'll say, "Hey, Kels might be right." Anyway, whatever happens, Kels is bottomed out because of his. I think he's not illiterate. I think he has some problems with reading. Not sure what he exactly has, but because of the inability to read or not read at a proficient level, he's signed a lot of his rights away. So even when people were saying ban or boycott his songs, he's not getting any money off those songs. The guy is yeah, financially done. So hey, let's see what happens when in this case. Yeah, RJ, do you have anything else to add for this? Because I think we covered this. Well, we'll see what, I mean, we'll keep an eye on this story. But guys, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this situation? Does the legal team of Kells have a valid argument of the statute of limitations? Should the laws be applied retroactively to ensure justice? I mean, what he did was quite disgusting. Um, or should it be strictly interpreted as it was intended? Anyway, share your comments in the box below.
Comment section below. Yeah,
RJ.
and guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon for more updates. like the video. But especially, guys, some people are subscribed, but they didn't hit the bell. So do that so you stay up to date on the different stories where we discuss trending, different stories that we drop, where we discuss trending topics and try to explore uncommon lessons from commonplace situations. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, let's jump right into the Reddit topic, man. We always have in these shows the Reddit topic where RJ chooses a uh, a topic that could fit within the narrative of the show, or it's totally different. Who knows? He doesn't reveal the story until he presses on that banner button. So, RJ, what do you have for us this week?
Thanks, KR. Thank you for the introduction. Well, let me put
You
it like
know
this.
it now. You know you're entering this your segment.
Well, this one, well, you made a comment saying that sometimes I choose something that has to do with the topic, sometimes I don't. This one doesn't have something to do with the topic, but you might think so as we're talking about R.Kelly, and the
Oh
banner
no.
has the word stepdaughter in it. So the
Definitely
question
gonna put
is,
this on today. Definitely putting this on today.
am I wrong for am I wrong for refusing to give my stepdaughter an inheritance?
What?
So my 32-year-old, uh, no, my husband. So no, the woman is 32. Husband passed away earlier this year. Our children, 6 and 3, and I inherited his entire estate, which in total is worth almost $1 million. When he was in high school, my husband had a child with his girlfriend at the time. He broke up with his girlfriend once he found out she was pregnant, saying he wasn't ready to be a father yet. He visited her maybe once every few years when he was alive.
Maybe wear a condom if you're on. Anyway, continue.
My stepdaughter. I mean, yeah, I don't know. When
He
he was
the
in high
he's
school,
a
right? So he was probably very young.
he's probably had
Uh,
teenage fever as well, like Drake.
my stepdaughter and her mother are very poor. They have struggled financially
Are you
ever
laughing
since
at
my
people's?
husband's death, as they no longer receive child support. They're struggling to pay rent and risk getting evicted. My stepdaughter reached out to me begging for her share of the inheritance. I feel bad for her, but my husband clearly stated in his will that he wanted to leave his entire estate to me and my children only. I barely even know my stepdaughter, and I don't think it's my responsibility to take care of her. She's furious with me, calling me a heartless gold digger and saying that giving her money was the least I could do to make up for the years of neglect. And so she's asking KR, is she wrong for refusing to give the stepdaughter an inheritance?
It's already reeking of entitlement because neglect is a big word here. The guy was paying child support according to what the OP is saying. So, uh, child neglect is where you are totally not adding any value and doing nothing for the kid. If you're paying child support, that doesn't you cannot say that he's neglecting the child. That's first of all. Second of all, is she wrong for doing this? She would have been wrong if, I mean, apparently there is a will. A will is put together when someone usually is still clear of mind, not in the Biden state. There are people that use the situation when people are in the Biden state to to to
Yeah.
to sway the situation towards their whatever they want. In this case, the man was apparently, it seems like, still of sane mind. He wasn't walking into aircrafts, empty aircrafts, at a arrival of people that were hostage by Russia, entering a aircraft, a plane for minutes, and
KR.
then empty. I'm trying to let me build it up, man. Let me build this up, man. You're trying to break me up. You're trying to break the. I'm trying to build something here. Anyway, just like just just like Biden had a short clear of mind and he exited that airplane. This man has also a clear of mind when he put that will together. So he didn't add the daughter in there. I'm not sure what age the daughter is. Does it say anything?
The age of the daughter, she's 16 years old.
Okay.
So their own, so the two children that she has with the late husband are 6 years and 3 years old, and the other one is 16 years old. So 10 years older than their oldest.
So we also know that women usually apply grow math when it comes to the situations like that. When it comes to um child support. So instead of building that money, using that money to um build the kids' income, or putting the money away, using part for clothing, etc., they use it as extra income, using it to pay rent, car notes, and all that stuff. And when the money is gone at 18, then it becomes like a hole. So I would say no, the woman is not wrong for choosing that. I said all that, bringing Biden into this just to say that she is not wrong.
Yeah, I don't think
That's the
so.
man's
It's
will. I mean,
yeah.
it seems
So
you can do two things, but I'm not saying that she's right as well, right? You can do two things. You can maybe give her. I don't know how much money they inherited, but that's also a case, because if it's 5,000, then I would say you can give her maybe $500. But yeah, anyway,
so the way I see it is that's I mean, there are a couple of misconceptions that I want to address. First, neglect. I understand what you're saying about the child support. That's purely, if you take it like purely legally. I think in her case, it's she's also thinking about the emotional one. So it's not only the legally neglect or no, but it's also like you weren't there. You abandoned my mother when you found out she was pregnant. You were well, let me see who was in high school. Yeah, he was in high school too. Yeah, so they were both in high school, and he abandoned her. So that was probably just scared, etc.
that's the
Is that
story
an
that
excuse? No.
but that's
Responsibility is
that's only one
responsibility.
part of the story. That's only one part of
Yeah,
the story as well. So
yeah,
let's not
but
act like that's
no, but that's
that's the standard. What people say. Maybe the mom didn't want to continue with the guy, and she's telling
yeah,
now the
but
story.
yeah, but the current wife, the current widow, is saying what the
With
deceased,
the
what
stepdaughter.
her late husband said. The late husband could have also said, she didn't want me in the baby's life. How would the widow know? She wouldn't. So it's like the wife wouldn't know. So but that's just one thing. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
the neglect argument, I think it's more than just money. Secondly, this is a misconception that the stepdaughter has, talking about her share of the inheritance. And it's what you said. An inheritance is left behind by a person, and it can be either lawfully or through a will. So if you don't have a will, then you need to look at the rules of law. And probably if the man didn't have a will, then yes, she would have probably had an inheritance, providing that he recognized her as a father. And if not, I mean, there are ways to look at it, but you need to establish the familial bond, etc. But she would have had a chance. But in this case, the person who was, or the original owner, who is the father of the stepdaughter, decided in a will, when he was sound of mind, because they were young. I wasn't there, so I assume that he was sound of mind, to leave the his properties and assets and liabilities to his current wife and the two children. And so the stepdaughter has a perception that seems like she wants her share of an inheritance. But if the father didn't leave anything behind for her, she can't speak of an inheritance. Now, that out the way, the husband decided to leave it behind to the wife and the two children. Once that transaction has taken place, after the man died, shouldn't have used that word maybe, but okay.
26 minutes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the clips, not the long version. But anyways, then it became property of the wife and the children, respectively.
Yeah.
And as the wife, now you have a choice to do what you want with it. So the widow, right? So the widow now has a choice. Actually, as a widow, you're not forced to give the stepdaughter anything, unless the stepdaughter believes that there's a legal ground, and then she should take them to court, right? But as it stands right now, we know that the stepdaughter doesn't have right to anything, because the will clearly states that she has been excluded.
Yep.
What the widow can decide to do, which is her prerogative right now, is to determine whether she will do it irrespective of what the husband said. Because the husband's will was to leave the money behind for her,
And her
assuming
kids.
that, hey, this is your money, do with it as you wish. If the husband had other intentions, then he would have stated it in the will. For example, you need to invest the money in, whatever, fill in blank, or put the money in a trust. The instructions would have been clear. But the husband said, this is your money. Do with it as you wish. So it's up to the wife to decide whether she wants to do it or not. But the wife doesn't have a relationship with the stepdaughter. It's
That's
not
the thing.
her kid. So
That's the
if
thing.
she decides to do it, it would be purely voluntarily, in my opinion. Well, it is not in my opinion. It's purely voluntarily, because there's an illegal ground. And not doing it doesn't make her bad in my eyes.
She has no, you're right. She has no relations. She doesn't even know the kid that much. I haven't talked to her at all. So it's like it's like giving money to a bum on the streets. And there's no difference. You don't know him, you give him like a $5. I'm not saying that it's the same. There is no bond. There is no.
I'm guessing she wants more than $5. So.
Yeah, that's what I guess as well. But what I'm trying to say is the relationship aspect in that situation. You don't know him.
That's more like giving money. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. Anyway, hey, do we want to close it out? Are there any interesting responses?
Before I close it out, just go to the top comment. It says a lot about your character that you went along with a neglectful deadbeat and still carry the torch of negligence.
Oh, these people someone is projecting.
And
These
still
people
carry
are
that torch of
miserable.
negligence after his death. I hope you don't have the nerve to delude yourself into believing that your husband was a good person and a good father. In different circumstances, he could have abandoned your child, your children like he did her through no fault of their own. Depending on where you live, his will might be irrelevant if he never paid child support in his first if he never paid child support to his first baby mama might be able to sue his estate for back payment, or stepdaughter might herself be entitled to a proportional share of inheritance. So you are wrong for that one. Another person is saying, yeah, agree. Your strength of character is lacking. You're correct. She's not your responsibility, but she is your children's sibling. You can set up a trust for her so that her mother can spend it. I would definitely go to a lawyer if you choose to give her something, but not giving her anything is the so very cold-hearted. I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to make that call. Your husband didn't clearly state in his will that she should absolutely get nothing. I mean, come on, you didn't read it. Stop the cap. Let me see if we have someone that has something positive to say about about the wife, actually. Uh, no. So I guess KR, this is
I guess I'm the only one. I guess I'm the only one who got knows this shit.
yeah. Hey guys, let us know in the comment
Oh
whether you
man.
think we're right or if we're not right. What would you do in a situation like that? Would it matter how much money they got? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to let us know your opinion. It's really important. And let's do it in a healthy way. KR, we can move to the
Yeah,
next segment.
yes. The second topic of today, man. Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU. Not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom to replace Kang as the main villain in the new MCU movie. I don't know what the name is. It's probably going to be some Shiyu stuff, but people are not happy, RJ. We've been covering the Jonathan Major story quite a while, and he also spoke out about this situation. What do you think about this so far?
I think it would have been a good cast if he wasn't already Iron Man. And I'll dive deeper into that. But before we proceed, remember, guys, to rate the show by pressing the like button, hit the notification bell after you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, and check us out on our other socials as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm back.
I
I'm back.
think if he wasn't Iron Man, and if he didn't play such a big role in previous shows, then in previous movies, then I would have thought that it would have been a good cast. Who
But
knows?
who
Is he coming back
but who
as
knows?
Robert
Maybe
Downey Jr.?
yeah, with the same face. Because have you seen Will Ferrell as the Penguin
In the new ones?
in the new
In
in
the
the
new
new
DC.
Bat?
That's a DC. That's Batman,
Yeah,
right?
but have you seen the Colin Farrell as the new Penguin?
Oh, you said Will Ferrell, I think.
Yeah, Colin. Yeah, Colin. My bad. Let me.
I think I saw the trailer, but I can't recall.
This is Will
I saw the
Will
trailer.
Ferrell.
I didn't know that it was him, actually.
This is him. Just so you
Wow.
know, for those who don't know how he looks like in real life, this is Colin Farrell in real life. So
I don't recognize him at
you
all.
don't recognize him at all. So maybe they're gonna do the same thing here. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's break the story down, man. I'll break the story down, then we can continue.
Could have
So in
picked
a
Terrence
shocking,
Howard. Anyways.
again,
They could have picked Terrence Howard. I
yeah,
mean,
but he would be talking about gravity and all that stuff. So I don't know if
he should be
Doctor
Doctor
Doom.
Strange.
Oh man,
in a different universe.
universe. Yeah. In a shocking twist, Downey Jr. is set to return in the comic, uh, in the Marvel cinematic universe as.
Cinematic. I know it. You're making jokes with MCU and now you're Marvel Cinematic. Yeah.
Well, as the infamous, he's not Iron Man anymore, but as the infamous Doctor Doom. Shout out to MF Doom. This means also that the previous role, which was the previous villain, the person who was supposed to be the villain, Kang the Conqueror, is now removed as the next big villain. Jonathan Majors had a couple of things to say. Not only him, there was also other people in the media industry or in the media who had a couple of things to say. One of them was comedian Godfrey. Godfrey had something to say about the situation. Let's take a quick look at what he had to say. Fair use.
Set to play Dr. Doom. He replaces Jonathan Majors. Now, there's a lot of backlash happening because of this, because, Robert Downey Jr., who has a criminal record, drug possession, all kinds of shit. By the way, I love Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the baddest actors around. Love him. Iron Man, Charlie Chaplin. I mean, the boy is bad as shit, But Jonathan Majors is getting a raw deal, man. Why can't they forgive him, man? This is one little thing that happened. First of all, there was a white woman chasing his ass. That's all I'm saying. I think the guy should be forgiven, but I don't want to bring up race. Why does it have to be about race? Well, obviously it is about race, and it's kind of unfair because white actors can be on heroin, be in rehab, all kinds of shit, and they get chances. They get other chances to redeem themselves. And it's always an amazing story. He was in rehab and then he came back and won an Oscar. You understand where I'm coming from? It's the same thing they do to Denzel. Denzel should have 5 Oscars by now, but they limit him to 2. He should have them for Malcolm X. He should have them for A Man on Fire, John Q. I'm just saying, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the hidden, can we say racism? Yeah. Jonathan Major is such a fantastic actor. Lovecraft, he killed it. Creed 3, Jonathan Majors killed it. He's so fantastic. And then they haven't forgiven him. Oh, check this out. Why don't they have Jonathan Majors play a white man in the Marvel universe? How about that? Because Robert Downey got to play a black man in Tropic Thunder, which,
by the way, this portrayal of so in Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr. played a white actor who was casted to play a black actor.
Okay.
Which was, I think, for me, one of the funniest characters he's ever played. He has a point where there is another black actor, and the black actor in the movie is also he says the N-word, and then you see, I cannot play it because otherwise we get a strike, of course, copyright strike, but or at least a notification. Robert Downey Jr. grabs the guy, holds him like this. He says, "That word, we've been put down for 400 years." Yo, I was like, what? He is so into the character. So he's playing a white guy, was casted to play a black guy, and he's playing, it's like three layers of acting. And the guy is so into the character, he thinks he's actually black in the movie. But let's go back to what Godfrey had to say about this.
he killed, by the way. And that's the cool thing. See, white actors can play us, but we can't play them. You understand? And they can play us and then stop being black and then go back to being white and get advantages. I think that's a little unfair. You know, it's a little bit unfair. I'm a little disappointed in you, Hollywood. Jonathan Majors deserves a chance. He should be in Marvel. How could you do that to this guy?
Yes, yes.
So
So
I
what we're dealing here with was that basically the role has been, yeah, put on hold. It's not a direction MCU will continue to go through. They chose Robert now, and yeah, is it fair?
don't think fair is the word to use. It's not two identical situations. Am I surprised? I'm not. I mean, Hollywood's been doing this. Come on.
Yeah,
We know. I mean, I don't understand why people keep expecting Hollywood to act differently, especially since they've made their intentions and direction
I can tell you why.
clear. I don't understand it. Second of all, Robert Downey Jr.'s incident happened in the past,
Yeah,
a long time ago.
20
And he
years ago.
has a track record of being, let's say, clean and um, people consider that he's paid his dues. Majors, what happened is just recently.
Yeah,
Now,
months ago, a couple of months ago.
yeah, what did Robert Downey Jr.'s, what was he accused of?
He's been convicted as a drug user, so heroin, coke, weed.
Yeah. Has he been convicted as an aggressor?
Not to my knowing, but I don't
Okay.
think so.
So even
Big
though
difference.
I personally believe that Majors was done wrong in
Yep.
that case, I
Yeah,
think he should
we've
have
talked about this.
gotten,
Go check out the track record. We talked about
yeah,
it. This whole thing didn't make any sense. But
no. But we know that Hollywood and especially Disney, they've pushed an agenda, right? They have an agenda, they have a plan where the things are going. And so if you get convicted of having illegal substances, you don't go against their brand. But if you get convicted for being an aggressor, then you do. You do, KR. You do.
hey,
And so
I'm laughing because it's true.
it's true. So
He's
it's not
involved.
like,
Yeah,
it's just like you also need to take a look at the
that's why
brand. Again,
that's why
I
I've been
believe,
using MCU just to give the
yeah,
context.
but I believe Majors was done wrong. I think
It is. Yeah,
there
it's
was
great.
like a scuffle, of course, but he ran away. He tried to get away, and it's clear that the lady was cuckoo. But hey, you have a system. The judge said two of the four counts, I believe, or at least two of the four counts were dropped, and he's been
Convicted
convicted
for
on two,
third degree or something like that.
yeah, third degree, something
Basically,
like very
yeah,
trivial.
like for touching people, you can get convicted for touching
Yeah.
people as well. So
Yeah, so you cause harm without having the intent to cause
yeah,
harm, but
that's a
you're
crazy
basically
one.
being too rough, and then you can get, it's a misdemeanor as well, I
Yeah, it's a
believe, right? It's not,
misdemeanor. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
nothing big.
okay, but my point is,
If not mistaken, misdemeanors by immigrants right now are getting anyway. So
so
maybe
when you
maybe
have people, black people saying that, black people on the board of Disney saying that they like to make men uncomfortable, black women, as black as Kamala Harris, then
yo, that shot looks crazy. Well, she's black. If Kamala is black, then the other woman is black as well. You
yeah,
might be right on that.
yeah, that's what I say.
You might be
So
right. You might be right.
hey,
You're a
Indians
point.
are black. So
Don't
if
tell them
a
that.
black woman, black slash Indian woman can sit in a panel with more people, knowing that she's being recorded and say that she likes to make men feel uncomfortable, then I mean, that's basically what you're doing in this instance, right? So I'm not surprised. I do think, however, that I mean, race plays a role. Yes, it does. It always does. Black man has played white people in the past, white chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Chappelle has a bunch of skits. So we don't call it whiteface, of course. Blackface, whiteface. It's a different. There's a different history there. But
Yep.
I do think that we're still trying to hold on to things while the society is evolving, and so all these comments, I think I think there are better ways to push for majors to be in the to get back in the MCU. And that can be just by taking action, signing a petition, boycotting. So if you, I mean, you're the consumer. If you don't like it,
Bingo.
don't go watch the movie, don't go pay. So there are
Y-
ways that we can support. If we're saying, hey, as a community, we want to support black actors, then there's a way to do it, a more strategic way.
I'm not
Instead
even
of
on. I'm
going
not even on the board or
it helps to share the video. It helps, of course, to just. I'm not saying you shouldn't go live and individually state your opinion, but I do think that as a collection, more can be achieved, and you can put more pressure.
yeah. Well, I'm not even. I'm not even on the board or anything with invested in Disney. But the way you can break this up is put a movie together with all black women in the lead, and then it's nobody cares about. It's the same. You can manipulate the whole system easily. People are looking only one way. There is a disconnect between black men and black women as well. So if you, like I said, if you put a lead, a female lead, a black female lead, they'll forget about Jonathan Majors. People will forget about Jonathan Majors pretty fast. So um,
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't make majors like a woman, or at least not
they
majors.
can't right now.
Make
Black
Doctor
Panther.
Doom. No, no, Doctor Doom a woman, or
Now they
like
can do it because it fit. So if you look at all a lot of series they've released lately, right? And movies by Disney. They have changed a couple of these characters, making the women basically a role in a sense, the major villain, and it didn't go pretty well with the numbers. So I think that's why they are sticking with a familiar face
yeah. So go back to what worked, right? That's like what you
for
should do.
now because they clearly have it. Like you said, they clearly have an agenda. There is
Yeah.
a clear agenda, and that's been pointed out by a number of YouTube channels that cover these stories more in depth. Um, but I mean, it's. I do agree with you on that. It's way too soon to say they should forgive him, even though I mean they have just fired him. So to fire them like 3 months ago and then forgive him 3 months later, that's definitely case for a lawsuit. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lawsuit on your neck by doing that. So it's going to be I'm not gonna say a wound, but it's gonna take time to get back for him to get back in good graces, and he has to act his ass off. I'll be honest. I mean, he's gonna show that he's not a he's better than everyone on the field and get back on to get back on the good graces. Maybe play a woman.
Maybe. Yeah, that'll do.
They'll
If he
do
wears a
it.
dress, if he wears a dress, it's gonna.
Or play someone who's oh man, no, I'm not gonna say that.
Let's stop
A
there.
boxer, a boxer. Well, he's gonna play the next
An Olympic boxer.
Olympic boxer. Oh man, struggling to become. Oh my god, I've written a story. Hey, holla at me, Disney. We got a banger out here. Anyway, uh, guys, we want to hear from you. What you think about this story? Is it right for Marvel to make Robert Downey Jr. the next big villain, basically replacing Jonathan Majors with someone who already has a track record in the core system, or should Jonathan Majors be given a second chance now, or maybe in the future, or is it inevitable that he won't get a second chance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. RJ, anything else to say?
Yeah, nothing more to add. Yeah, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more updates. Of course, by doing so, you get updated when we have new stories where we discuss trending topics and try to explore uncommon lessons from commonplace situations. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments.
Yes, I mean this is as we all know, the Olympics have started well, not on a good foot, because there was already quite fast a controversy already at day one without even starting one Olympic game. It was kind of pandemonium after they kind of the inauguration, the starting ceremony. No, a lot of people had quite a lot of things to say about it. We didn't cover it because, well, don't care that much about that situation. But there have been people going. There's been some wild moments so far. RJ, anything you want to say about these moments
Yeah.
before we cover them?
It's we're living in a time where people, I don't know, people just look for things to be mad about. And at the same time, we're living in a time where people do certain things, like commit blunders basically on world stages, and doing it to the usual suspects as well, the usual victims. I mean, hey, this is maybe the definition of a victim Olympic. But before we continue, guys, remember to rate the show by pressing the like button, follow us on our other socials, hit that subscribe button as well. But yeah, KR. Which story did you want to start first? Oh,
We're starting with the Turkish shooter,
the
the
hitman.
greatest shooter, the hitman, Yusuf Dikic, Turkey's 51-year-old shooter, a legend already, because he showed up, basically rolled up out of his bed, put his glasses on, and went on to work. Two eyes open, and got the silver medal for Turkey on the shooting range. Here you can see how basically the average shooter is doing this part. They have all these lenses to avoid to keep your eyes focused on the target, blurring situations, ear protectors to cover for the noise. The guy just showed up, sorry, without ear protectors, just simple glasses, and with his hand in his pockets, he just pumped a couple of pellets in the target. Yeah, as you can see here, he got a silver medal with his partner, because it's a female and male context. Hey man, RJ, he's definitely for hire. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.
By
For
the way,
sure, man.
he's from the military, so that's probably why he can pump pellets like that into a target.
So he's from the military.
Background, yeah.
So he's a former military. He's former military then.
Not
I
sure
think
if
he
he's
got
former.
there. I liked his stance. He had a cool stance, like a very nonchalant stance. Like I've been doing it. I've been doing this with moving targets. So this is piece of cake. And in the last round, he was like, "I think they're onto me. Let me just miss this one, so I don't get the gold. I just need to, don't make it too obvious."
Yo,
But
It's like this is just an ad for his business.
Yeah, but it's just like in movies when they shoot someone and then they say, if I had aimed 2 inches to the left, you would be gone right now. So like I'm
With
gonna
him, you will
injure
believe
you.
it.
I'm gonna injure you willingly, so you know that I did it because I wanted to keep you alive. So it seemed like that. I
Are you
like
talking about movie or are you talking about Philadelphia? Where was this? Are you talking about movies or are you talking about for presidents? Or
Pennsylvania. No, man, I'm talking.
Pennsylvania, yes, that's always said Philadelphia. Are you talking
Yeah.
about movies or
Now,
are you talking about
some people would say that it's the same thing. I mean, some people would say that.
it's a movie? Hey, Trump should have posted oh, jeez. The next day. My life is like a movie.
Yeah.
It's like
So
a movie out here.
I like this girl
No,
as well. There was like a Japanese. I think she was Japanese. She
she's
also had
South
like a cool
Korean.
stand.
South
They
Korean.
also commented on her style because she was also standing like very cool with her gear. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I think it's
this
because it's
is a
like one
video of
male, one
her.
female, right? The teams the teams consist of one male and one female shooter, I believe.
Yeah, depending on which part of which competition it is, but the specific one that the Turkish guy won, that's a male female. By the way, that's one thing as well. The female had the same situation as the Turkish guy. No headphones or
No, she
ear
did have
covers.
headgear.
Which one? The Turkish one?
The Turkish one. She had only headgear.
Okay,
Only
maybe.
the headgear. The rest
Only
was
the ear cover. Okay, but she also stood there with her hands in her pocket. No special eye covering. I mean, these are. I mean, we already know. Turkey is trying to tell people something out here. We got the shooters. Don't come at us. Don't try to act crazy. We will send our best men to you.
Did you see the movie Wanted?
Wanted.
Yeah. In that
No.
movie, what they do is they bend it. They
bend the bullet.
they bend.
Yeah,
they bend the
yeah.
bullet. I mean,
That's something Robert Downey Jr. used to do when he was on heroin, but okay.
it's
He will bend the spoon. Anyway, hey, let's continue. Let's not deviate too much. Hey, another thing that happened at the Olympics. South Sudan showed up at the Olympics expecting for people to play their national anthem. But well, that didn't go good. Let's take a look real quick. Fair use. It seems like, but first of all, the guy was like, "What? You play the wrong anthem." He caught it right away. And look at the players, the South Sudan. Yeah. So basically, after this happened, the Olympic Committee apologized. Just so you guys know, South Sudan gained independence from Sudan in 2011. So we're talking about more than a decade ago. Imagine people still playing. This is crazy, yo. Hey, but this happens a lot of times. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there was I don't know who's responsible for this stuff, but I've seen this happen with countries. Was it someone played? I think it was probably Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think there's something happened as well. I could be wrong, but I mean, this happens a lot of times. I don't know who's responsible for these anthems, but this is crazy, man. Imagine you think your independence, you've more than 10 years, a decade, more than a decade independence, people try to pull you back into uh, into the old situation. RJ.
Can you imagine the US playing
Oh,
the finals and they play God Save the Queen? I'll tell you one thing.
yo.
Before the song, before the anthem is over, that country is gonna be bombed. Gonna be, they're gonna
Oh, man.
they're gonna declare a war against terror against that country, man. Nah, man. But it's so it's the nuances, right? So there, it's just like you play North Korea anthem to for South Korean players. It's you need to be very mindful of the complexities, the historical complexities, because it's very ingrained. The people are very emotional.
Yep.
Sudan has been in shambles for a while. There's actually, I believe, there's another region. So there are different regions in that area, armed conflict, history. So you need to be very mindful of those things, because to you it's like an oops, but to them it's like total disrespect.
Yep. 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 Good. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Let's go to the next one. This is an American topic.
An American topic.
American topic. We're talking about Simone Biles. Shout out to
Mm.
her. Another gold medal for the Queen. The Queen. Apparently, not everyone recognizes the King among the Queen, because
What?
what you're gonna ask what happened. I'm gonna explain to you. After this picture, people criticize. Well, people, we all know who, but I'll say people criticized Simone and her husband because he had her medal around his neck. They said this is not a good thing because it's her medal. Imagine that, RJ. You're married to this woman. She loves you. You've been supporting her all this time, making sure she's on time, giving her the right nutrition as a former or as a still NFL player, and now they try to disrespect the bond you have with your wife.
Yeah. You know,
And I can say who the people are.
I
We all know the single people are trying to drag her into the misery. Misery loves company, they say.
misery, exactly. Misery loves company. It's clear that these two love each other. But why is it a problem? Because I don't know what the guy's name is, but he went on, was it I Am
Jonathan
Athlete, I
Owens.
believe?
Jonathan Owens. I am athlete. Yes.
Jonathan Owens, and he went on I Am Athlete or Pivot, one of
Yeah.
the two.
No, it was the pivot. It was the pivot. Was it the pivot?
And
Yeah, it was the
he
pivot.
talked like he said something to the extent of I'm the man and
I'm the price.
I'm the prize and she pursued me. And people were like, Matt, how can you talk like that? And then of course they're gonna go for the masculinity, man. What do you have? She's the queen. She's like the gold medalist. I think right now she broke the record of
I think it did.
the person with the most gold medals in the sport of gymnastics, I believe. Maybe
Yeah.
something to that extent. So what are you compared to? Does it really matter? Does it really matter? Single women, does it really matter?
For that,
This
for them
man,
it does.
this man and this woman love each other. You are okay with Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey. They have a different way of doing things. You're okay with Oprah and what's the guy's name? Jason Statham.
I don't know who this guy. The fall guy.
Statman, I think his name is something like
Yeah,
that.
that's his name. Yeah.
But you're okay. Just let them be. I always say it's good to hear, it's good to we You can read about relationships, what's the best relationship, what's the best type of relationship. At the end of the day, KR, I think you should focus on your relationship. What works for you? And oftentimes people are too concerned with what other people think about them that they forget to just focus on what's good for them, what's good for you. And if this works for them, you can clearly see that they're both happy. And Simone Biles is there supporting him, and he's there in France supporting her.
Yeah. As a
Leave
couple,
them
you're one.
be. You're one, leave them be.
She won it, but I'm always. She's also. We're one, so I won too. We all
He's
won.
lucky to have a woman that is paying her, at least giving him her medal. You don't have anyone to look at you when you work at McDonald's. You don't have. You would want to have. You would want to have that. I mean, there's nothing wrong, but KR, let's be honest. These people are athletes. They live a completely different life than normal people do. So I don't understand all the drama. I don't understand all the drama. We covered a guy last week or 2 weeks ago that was driving around being chased by cops with his baby mama and kid in the car. And when the cops finally stopped him, he put the baby up as a human shield to ask them not to shoot. I mean, people are out there with like
With
at the
bombs.
end of the day, love is a very complicated thing. You don't know why you chose to have a baby with a guy like that, but you did. Now we need to deal with the consequences. It is what it is. Just
I do think.
focus on your relationship with Jesus first, and then go make other decisions instead of focusing on other people's happiness.
I think in general people have a problem with uh, what you see in. I'm gonna say it like this. Black community seems to have a problem with. mm the black community is a matriarchy. It has been for a very long time.
You said matriarchy, right?
Yes,
Yeah. The
and
women
people have a
women
problem.
run families in the black community.
Yes, and as soon as there is like a patriarchal uh,
Figure.
figure in a situation, there seems to be people that are jumping on top of that, and I think this is the reason here. What is why this is happening? Simona Biles clearly sees the man as the 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 head figure of her relationship, and they try to inject her with their ideas of how a relationship should work. It clearly this works for her because she's happy and they are both happy. They both accept each other. They both help each other to reach their goals. But some way, somehow, like I said before, like I open up this segment, misery loves company. So people try to drag them into. It's like sometimes I have a feeling that there is like a sort of a religion kind of feel to this. People people are so they are not comfortable or they are not convinced that their idea is the correct one, so they try to get people on their side to convince themselves I have the right life philosophy, and by doing that they get more strength in what I'm doing is the correct move. If someone else is doing a different move and it's opposite and they are happy, that means that's makes you confronts you with your choices. Why am I single? It's not because of my philosophy of life. No, it's because of external problems. It's the other people. It's the men. No, it's your choice. It's your life philosophy. That's why you're single. And that's how people try to pile on and I mean I'm happy for her. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for them as a couple. Um, one thing you have to realize is that as a professional athlete, you sacrifice a lot. And if you're both professional athletes, I can imagine how much of sacrifices they both have to do to get where they are. So I mean, hey, all the best to her and to him, man. Hopefully,
Yeah.
they won't get bothered by the comments. I think she gave a statement as well after this yeah, I would say attack. Um, and she seems like a very down to earth person,
Yeah.
and that tells you about also because she is that tells you about her situation growing up. She had great
Role
people
models.
around her,
Great role models around
role
her.
models. Yep.
And um, I don't know if you're done, so I can give the
Yeah,
final
yeah.
my final
Give it
take.
your final take.
Yeah. So what I would say is that, like you said, these two are top performers. Top performers. The discipline level is super high, which can make it good as well because they both understand. They probably both wake up early. They probably both have multiple trainings in a day. They understand the sacrifices when it's tough, but at the same time it's not. It's tough to combine the schedules probably, but at the same time they understand each other. I like what they represent, but at the end of the day, KaiR, we're not there in their household, so we don't know how it really goes down. We only have an impression. Everyone has an impression, but I would say that for a woman like that, if the man was so bad and was really like a tyrant in the household, she wouldn't be where she is right now. She
Yep.
wouldn't be happy and smiling as she is right now. So it would have an effect on your performance. It living with toxic people, living with unproductive people, living with lazy people, it has an impact on your life. Living with people that criticize you, people that aren't good for you, it has an impact on your life. So um, there comes a point that you can't coexist with that person. You can't, because it's either you need to go down or they need to go out. You can't live it. And so if they've been together and they can still perform, then they must be doing something good. So I applaud them. All the best to them.
One last
Uh
thing, she gave
yeah.
she gave also comments. Biles took the to the section and hit blah, 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 blah. Crazy thing is I put my medal on every single one of my family members and took pictures. So don't ever make assumptions. She added, like y'all are so effing miserable. Leave us alone. Hey, it says it all. Says it all. They are happy and leave her alone.
Yeah,
Go,
leave her alone.
go hug air at night. Hey, last but not least, I have to close it with this one, man.
Okay.
Women are out here getting knocked out during Olympics by people with an extra chromosome. Not the extra chromosome, the other extra chromosome, the Semanya type of chromosome. For those who don't know, one of the biggest stories is the Algerian boxer Iman Khalif and the South Korean boxer Lin Yu Ting. Um, there was a story out there saying that they are not female born boxers. Apparently, they are with an extra chromosome, which makes them create or produce more
Testosterone.
testosterone. I almost said estrogen, um, making them stronger than usual women. And there's been a huge media storm towards both of them. Um, yeah, to be honest, I think from my side, I'll say this: I don't really care about this story, even if it was a born male. People make their choices already a long time ago. And people didn't protest back then when choices were made, and we all know which choices were made. But people don't
Yeah.
have to act like there was nothing made. There was a women movement who started supporting certain changes. and we all know this woman movement that ends with the start with the FEM and it ends with the IST. Um, and they have supported certain changes in everything in society. And if you support certain changes, it is what it is. We will see women getting knocked out either by people with extra chromosomes or men. I mean,
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
will
I mean, it's going
no,
to,
let me put it this way: people that were born with a Y chromosome. And I'm
yeah,
not calling them men because I don't want this video to haunt me a couple of years from now. People that
yeah,
were born with a Y chromosome only,
yeah.
XY.
Well, so I would say biologically, we know what we call a man, we know what we call a woman, but now there's a difference. The argument is that there are genders as well, and so you can have all kinds of gender. But you have like at the end of the day, what this shows, however, is that your biology matters for you, especially matters for your
Performance.
hormone,
Always
your
did.
natural hormonal production.
Yeah.
And of course, we have people taking all sorts of hormones to they've always
Blockers.
been doing it. Bodybuilders has been doing it, top performers has been doing it. And so, but that's I think we are heading in that direction, KR. So right now, this person is a biological woman, with an extra chromosome that gives her superpowers, men like superpowers. But there will come a time, undoubtedly, that you will have like a transition player. I mean, they're already doing it in certain sports. There might come a time that it will happen as well. Do I care? No, I don't. The reason being that, like you said, there's the on a higher level, they've already made a decision on a route that they're taking. And if you say something, I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was saying how interesting it is, right? So if I ask you, KR, which country is the best cricket, uh, like the world champion in cricket?
I know that India's pretty good in cricket.
Yeah, but right now,
Pakistan,
tell me right now, which one? Who
I
won
would
the last championship in cricket?
Jamaica.
Okay, I wouldn't know. But does that make me a cricket phobe? I don't think so. So just because you don't care
Yeah,
about
this is
something,
crazy. You set me up.
just because you don't care about something doesn't mean that you're against it.
Yeah,
You don't care about it. And I think
yeah.
that we are losing. Certain things are just logical that you do and don't do, and certain things, if you do this, that's going to be the consequences. You're free from making the choices you want to, but you're not free from the consequences. There's no rules, from I understand, there are no rules that prevented this fight. So the fighter didn't get disqualified for having an additional chromosome. Uh,
They were
if you
banned
think
by
that
the
it's
IBA
wrong,
though.
if you want to prevent this type of things in the future, you need to make choices, and that means changing the rules. And if you don't change the rules, then we're gonna have the same discussion time and time again. So that's the way I see it. What happened. It's not like she had an unfair advantage. She was born with an extra chromosome. If you want to prevent this, if you think no, this is okay, then you let it be, and that means that people with Y chromosomes can come and do what they do.
That's pretty
Yeah,
close. It's getting closer.
they can do what they do.
Uh,
Or
guess
you
who
say,
I'm betting on?
what, we
Guess
think
who
that
I'm
there
betting
should
on?
be what?
Guess who I'm betting on? I'm gonna be a millionaire by a couple of
Well,
years.
probably you won't, because the
They're
how
gonna
do you
ban.
call it?
They're
How do
gonna
you call it? The percentages?
quote.
You're gonna lose money on that bet. But yeah, so it's, if you want to prevent it, then you need to do it, and if you think it's okay, then you know what's gonna happen. So I think
Yeah.
this, in the future, I think that if there's a clear advantage, even if the person is born as a woman, if there's a clear advantage, that's a choice that you need to make. and maybe the person, maybe you say no, the person will stay there and she will be the LeBron James of female boxing, and it's okay. Then that's what you decide. But
Iba,
I don't
Iba,
like the what I dislike, KR, is that we don't take the necessary make the necessary decisions, and then have the same things, the same problem appear time and time again, and we complain the same things.
yeah.
We complain the same things over and over and over again. And so yeah, that's to me. I don't have that time. I have things to do.
It's going nowhere. You have professional female athletes that are driving certain narratives, and I'm talking about the female athlete. I'm not gonna say her name. The football player that has been driving a certain narrative for as long as I know her. Um, hey, when people get displaced from their sport, that's when the people start crying. But
Yeah.
I guess when I mean choices have to be made, and people have made a choice. And if you don't agree with the choice, you have to boycott. IBA, the International Boxing Association, banned these women from boxing, but it's the Olympic Committee who allowed this during this tournament. So, hey, choices, and it maybe it aligns as well with whatever the opening ceremony tried to portray. Guys, you have anything else to say, RJ?
Now I have nothing else to say. I can close it unless you wanted to
Okay.
say something first.
No, I think it's said enough.
All
More
right.
than enough,
Hey,
actually.
let's close today's show as usual. We want to thank you for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, share the video. Don't forget to comment, but do it in a healthy way. We'll see each other in the next one. Till next time. Peace.
Peace. Keep your head on a swivel.